What's going on, YouTube? So this week we are doing a special Sunday edition. Woo! But it is Palm Sunday. My yearly goal is to always make something out of palm wood for Palm Sunday. This is the latest palm pen. I do have a few that are for sale, not this style. This is currently the last in the testing step, or the last pen in the testing that I'm doing for them because of the action. It's very simple, very basic, so I don't ever see anything going wrong with them, but I still like to make sure that way if I find any issues, I can warn people ahead of time. I know the instructions say that sometimes this can loosen up a little bit. You just take a number 0 screwdriver, unscrew the tip, stick it in, tighten it up. It's super easy to fix as long as you have all the parts. That's the key. But yeah, this is the third one I've made. The first two have not given me any issues with that at all. So I'm just making sure, and starting a new job. Wanted to have something to remind me of the whole be a good Christian thing. So decided I wanted to try my stainless steel kit for this. So by the time this is up, these very well might be available, at least for orders. I don't know if I have anything ready. I've only got a handful of them right now. I don't tend to buy a lot of pens while I'm testing them. I've had a few where I bought 2 just to test them out, try them out, and I just threw them away. They were that bad. So that's why I try to go through stuff and make sure it's actually going to hold up and work for y'all. But with that, let's get into the how to make stuff, and we will get a pen on the lathe and remember the whole point of today. So with that, we'll get in, and yeah, I will see y'all with my younger self. Have a good one. Well, you will have a good one because this video is great, just like all my videos. But I'm not too sure if they are or not. I'll have to go looking it up. If there are, I'm sure I'll be ordering a few of each just to make sure I have them on hand. These things are addictive. You push down, slide over. They call it a clip bolt action. There's nothing firearms related with this one, unlike most of the other bolt actions I have. So I've had a few people that really like them, but they were put off by the gun theme of it. But like I say, this is the third one I've made. And this is the last stage of testing for this particular model. So, and it involves just a lot of this because I'll sit and play with it for hours. Drives people crazy. Tired of it yet? I'm not. I'll play with it all night. I don't care. But I'm putting it in my pocket so I don't, otherwise I will play with it consistently. Constantly. Not consistently, constantly. I can't talk. But yeah, so with that, we'll say cat in the hat, dat be dat. Have a good one, folks. While I'm thinking about it, so did you guys know that you can support me for not spending a cent by hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing my videos? It doesn't cost you a cent. It helps the algorithm see me a whole lot more, and it's totally free for you. It just takes 3 clicks. Just wanted to throw that out there. Thanks. Bye. All right, folks. So I'm just going to throw the lathe back together for this, and then we are going to be good to go. In the meantime, I just wanted to throw a couple of thoughts out First off, this is going to be the last of my testing for this particular model of pen. And at this point, after this one, I'm going to carry it for a bit. And then I'm going to be making them available here soon. They're actually, I really like them as a idea. I forgot I got my lathe set up weird right now, so I got to put something on the other end here. All right. All right, there's that. I got to find, I'm missing a part for this thing. All right. I'm pretty sure this is the correct drill bit. 3/8 it is. So we're just going to lock this down in here. But yeah, so if you guys were unaware, the pen types I sell, I've carried pretty much all of them, or at least something that uses that mechanism, for at least a good 6 months before I've ever made them available. And some of them I carry more often than others. A lot of the fountain pens, I've really take my time with those. I'm really picky with them. And unfortunately, some of my favorite ones are no longer available. Sorry, I don't have a knife out here with me right now, but since this one's coming out for Palm Sunday, we're going to use some coconut palm. This wood is, it can be a pain to work with, but when everything goes right, it looks very pretty. I thought I just saw a black marker. I could have swore I just saw one of my Milwaukee markers. Wasn't in my pocket, was it? All right. Well, I don't see it, so we're just gonna pop this right here. All right, I'm gonna stop this real quick. I gotta find one of my bandsaws. I just came out here and my mind's still getting my head in it. We'll be right back. And I'm back. We found what we needed. Oh, I found a saw. I prefer the Milwaukee, but DeWalt will work too. It's the exact same size, so whatever. I gotta say, for the 12-volt system though, I think the DeWalt porta band's a little bit nicer. It cuts a little faster, don't jump as much. Just my 2 cents. All right, now to drill this out, I want to make sure, check my gear ratio real quick. All right. This is in the high range, so I want to run this a little over 1,000 RPM. There's 1167, so we're ready to drill. I was going to do a different style for this one, but I couldn't find a couple pieces parts for the pen kit, so I'm going with my last tester. Plus, this is one I was wanting to make so I could carry, so yep. All right. I took my handle off that side the other day because I got a big project I'm wanting to try and didn't realize just how nice that longer handle is until I go trying to use it. But all right, so for this, since we're doing one pen, I'm going to be out here for about 20 minutes while this sets up. But I'm just using some Tight Bond thick CA glue. I'm hoping this bottle's clear. It looked brand new. Oh yeah, it's open. All right. Sometimes I'll have one sitting for a while and it won't want to actually put anything out. That one's it's definitely clogged up a little bit, but all right. Then when you insert these, always make sure you do a lot of twists. You want to really spin it around in there to get that glue in. When you get about to there, I take it on the corner of I have a wooden table over there. And then I've got some accelerator. It's just a spray I'll hit this with to set the outside glue up instantly. I'll give it about 15 minutes or so for the inside. And then I'm going to square this off, and then we'll be back over here. I'm not going to square it off on camera because, well, it's, yeah, if you've ever seen me do a pen, you've seen me square it off, and wow, those fumes just got to my eye. Nothing's in it, just the fumes itself. That really messes with me sometimes. So, but that little tube is what will hold everything together. So I'll see you guys in one transition, or about 15 minutes for me. And we're back. So here's our first bushing, our blank that I've already drilled. I just pulled it off the sander to square everything up. There's that. Lock that down. I just found something out that I'm going to have to fight with. So can't do everything I wanted to get done today, but at least I know, so I can deal with that. And I need a fresh edge on this one second. All right. That's sharp. Should be good. Cool. That's still recording. All right. Full speed ahead. Here we go. Fun tip if you ever get into pen turning, this should be a very smooth. You shouldn't feel a bump when you're up against your bushings. Don't be afraid to hit them. It will dull your tool up a little quicker if you hit it hard. It will take some of the bushing off, but I use it for, I don't know, I'm hard on my stuff at times. So now I'm going to go back to the roughing gouge and just take up the majority of the meat out of the middle. With palm, it has a tendency to split and splinter really easily. That's why I wanted a fresh, sharp edge on this, because I knew this is the primary tool I'm going to be using on this one. I think I got a splinter already from this thing too. But I'm going to also do the actual final shaping with sandpaper. So here we go. And that can happen too. Hopefully I can find both halves. That's what happens when it splits. You don't have enough glue in the middle. How did that thing even... Look at that. Look at that! All right, I'm going to re-glue this, and I'm going to let it sit a lot longer. That's all sealed back up, so I'm just going to set it right there and let it dry. But we're just going to give that glue some time to dry. All right, so while that's drying, the big reason why I like doing these is because Palm Sunday is when Jesus came to, I believe it was Nazarene. Don't quote me on the city. I'm bad with city names. But basically went into town riding on the donkey. Everybody's happy to see him. And it was basically his last 7 days on here on earth. So that's why I always try to do something special for Palm Sunday, because it's one of the holidays that I rather enjoy and don't think it gets enough appreciation. So just wanted to throw that out there real quick. I got to do a little digging on another project, so we'll get to this. It's going to be a while for me, but I want to make sure this glue really sets up, because I think that glue bottle got froze, which is why it's not holding. I found it inside my house, but that don't mean nothing, unfortunately. So we're going to find out. And if not, I might have just found I think I see another Palmwood pen over there that's started. I'll just have to grab some different bushings for, but it's still black palm. But I really want this one to work, because I want this pen for a new job that I'm starting next Monday. So see y'all as soon as I feel comfortable trying this again. All right, it's been about 45 minutes, so we should be good to go. Let's get her going. All right. I did change it up and use the tools for that, so now we're just going to sand this bad boy down. To do that, we'll set that right about just under half speed. I'm going to grab a pack of sanding discs. We're going to lose the 60 grit because it's too aggressive. And here we go. Here's something popping. I got a little gap there, little gap there. That's what's causing it. All right. Glad I'm making this for me. For the record, I would not sell this one with having 2 splits in it. All right. All right. All right. And this is a trick called water popping. What you do is you spray it down with water. And I'm just helping it dry quicker with this. Wow, it actually, this almost didn't need it. Usually what will happen is it'll make the little microscopic fibers stick up, and then the last sanding pass will knock them down, so that way if it gets wet again, your wood won't feel really nasty afterwards. So I use it a lot with bowls and stuff, especially if you're going to be using it with, except with bowls, what I'll do for the wooden ones is water pop it after every grit from 1,000, water pop it again at 2,000, sand it with 3, and then we're done. Now we're gonna throw this over here. And we're gonna fold this up real small like. We're gonna grab my bottle of Pens Plus, or Dr. Woodshop's Pen Plus, I think is the technical term. Just put a little bit in here. This is a mixture of carnauba wax, beeswax, and some, I think it's 3 different waxes. I don't have the original bottle. I prefer these ketchup ones to apply it. But it's suspended in a mixture of alcohol. You just shake it up because everything settles to the bottom. I always do a minimum of 3 coats with this. I generally do 5, but 3 is sufficient. And I mean, that's all it takes. This is completely dry. That's the advantage of them suspending the wax in the alcohol. That alcohol flashes off very fast. And flashing off is the scientific term for drying. I think there might be something more to the actual definition of that too, but that is the short version is that's what it's called when it dries quickly. So those are some pretty heavy coats, so we should be good with that. If it's going to break, it's going to break in either this or doing the next step. But now we turn the speed all the way up and heat it up and get the, I use, I don't want to yell over this, but what I'm going to do is crank it all full speed. We'll use a clean spot, and that'll heat this up. It'll cause that wax to expand, and as it cools, it'll contract back in, but it'll pull it in deeper, and anything that's excess will be right here. And then I put on the final coat of wax, which is a little bar of beeswax right here. I'll flip this over, and I'll use the middle of this one. When I'm doing this in production, I'll use this for multiple, but for one off, I just use one. I don't know if you guys can see where it's as it was set or as it was working in, it went from real dim to real shiny like that, which is what you want to see. All right, there's our wax. That's all the finish work completely done on this. Now I'm going to bring you guys, we're going to knock this out and we're going to put it together right here. So if you guys will give me a minute, I'm going to break everything down and we will get this ready to go. Knockout. Sorry, I'm rearranging a bunch of stuff out here, so nothing's where it normally is. Okay. All right. And we just pull this out when we're done with it. I hang it next to my lathe. I need my tailstock off here so I can get the next tool to work. And I do already have everything pre-pulled. So we're just going to slide you guys over here. We're going to take 3 steps back, and I'm back. So here's our pen press. All right. So we're gonna, the instructions say to do this one at a time for the insertions. So I'm gonna grab these 2 parts, set this down. I want the part that doesn't have any rough spots at my hand. This is why I like my other style, but it's not, it's missing at the moment. So take this, pop this over here. The important part is to have this down and locked over and to make sure it stays in that position. All right. Now that's part's done. So I'm just going to set this down out of the way or drop it on the floor. And then all right. And you just put the spring on the ink refill. Make sure it goes down in all the way. Screw this on. And there we go. And there is this year's Palmwood pen for Palm Sunday. If you guys know me in real life, you'll probably see this well before this video comes out, but I like it. I'm happy with it. And be on the lookout for these to be available. This is the stainless steel color. I can also get them in a flat black and an aluminum, which is a real shiny chrome. That way, yeah, that's your 3 color options. There might be more